My mother's side of the family is awful, so I'm skipping my cousin's wedding.
Sounds like a good move.
Trigger warning for verbal abuse. This is a long one, but I want to know if the following is enough for me to stay away from my mother's side of the family. These are microaggressions I've been experiencing since I was a child. My cousin is getting married, and while I love her and her parents, I don't love my mother's sisters and their kids. I'm going to skip the wedding and take a vacation to Greece or Italy instead, maybe Provence. That sounds so much better.
Where is Provence?
I don't know.
Isn't that like Rhode Island? No, that's Providence.
Yeah.
That's not Rhode Island.
That's not
Like,
Providence.
I might go to Greece or Italy or Rhode Island. Or maybe it's
Something
the
in
Isle of Rhode.
Maryland. Who knows? By the way, this comes from Quick University 8836, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I was staying at my aunt's house with my cousin. Another male cousin came to stay for a few days. I was vacuuming, and he physically wrangled the vacuum away from me. I tried to fight him off, but he's 6 foot tall and muscular, and I literally couldn't. Does he really want to vacuum that bad?
Is OP a lady?
We don't know.
I just imagine, what if this is all just an attempt to be chivalrous gone wrong?
He's like, no, you shouldn't be, kick your feet up. You shouldn't be vacuuming.
No woman will do chores on my watch.
I went downstairs to tell my cousin so she could get it away from him, but she was talking to my aunt. I sat on the couch and waited for them to finish. I was diagnosed with ADD as a very young child, and I started watching something on my phone and got totally distracted. She came up to me and started screaming at me, saying I am so rude for letting guests do housework and berating me so meanly. She did not let me get a word in, and I was literally overpowered and trying to do the right thing. We were walking through the mall when the same cousin turned to me and snapped in the rudest tone, "Everybody knows you're the pretty one. Everyone knows you're the pretty one."
I'm starting to get real confused here.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to be nice to you, but he does it really aggressively.
I really don't know what to think.
He's like, "Stop. I'll do it. Stop. Give me the vac." And he starts back because we know that he started vacuuming because was it the mom or the aunt came up?
She's like, "You can't. How dare you? How dare
How
you?
dare you?"
And then you just, I don't know. It just comes down to like a, debate class kind of technique.
I think the issue that we're finding here is tone. Cousin just doesn't know how to do the right tone. He wants to do good things, but they just come out wrong. We were in the car, all of us cousins. I'm very intelligent, as is my brother. He didn't say you're stupid. He just said you're the pretty one. I know something about everything and know a lot of things because I read a lot and love knowledge and understanding.
I'm sorry, but I gotta roll my eyes a little bit at that.
I think OP must be like a teenage girl.
I'm just a teenage girly baby.
A topic came up and I started speaking on it, making the same cousin insecure, I guess. She started making sad faces. My other male cousin turned to me and told me to shut up. Sorry, I just whistled.
Hey, how did you do that?
I don't know.
Sometimes I do that and it scares me.
I started crying, but I hid it from everyone. This is so sad. Wait, so OP's just like, oh my God, did you hear about how like whales eat krill? And they were like, shut up. And she was like,
It's like, shut up, Shirley. Everyone knows you know about porpoises. We don't care.
don't freaking care.
Wait, no, whales are mammals.
Yeah.
Dolphins are, dang it. She'd be so disappointed in me.
Shut up. Everyone knows you're the pretty one. It really broke my heart, but never my self-confidence and self-belief.
I'm sorry. I know this is really serious for OP, but this is kind of hilarious. It's just kind of funny. I'm sorry.
It's just kind of funny. I was in my cousin's room and my eyeshadow palette broke in her cupboard. I was terrified of what my cousin would say and how she would scream at me. So I locked the door and began cleaning it up with makeup wipes as quickly as I could. There was powder everywhere and it was hard to clean it all up.
Okay, so I get it,
Yeah.
right? Everyone is afraid of someone being like, oh, something broke and it's your fault.
Yeah.
But the solution can't be locking yourself in the room and trying to clean it up before anyone notices, because that's wrong.
Just clean it up.
You just got to say, yeah, this happened. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
taking care of
I'm
it.
taking care of it. I opened the door and she started yelling at me, saying, I'm so rude, and how dare I lock a door to a room in someone else's house? It's her sister's room, blah, blah, blah. My father's sisters have always showered me with jewelry and really tasteful pieces other people don't even know where to buy.
It's just funny. It's just there's no way around it.
No one knows where to buy these really tasteful pieces. OP just sounds rich now.
Rich and smart
And
cool.
pretty. I didn't know, but I guess this has always made my cousins insecure. My mother's sister came up to me one day, randomly, out of bloody nowhere, dragging my cousin along with her. She shoved the cousin's hand in my face and said, look at the ring I bought her. It's got diamonds and rubies and this and that. It was for her birthday. Then years later, she randomly pulled off a ring off her hand with a loud sigh and handed it to me. I got rid of it. Begone, witch. The same aunt did this to me with her daughter-in-law, who I have always been kind to, and given loads of expensive makeup and gifts to in my life, out of my own earnings. She turns to me at my cousin's wedding when we're in the car saying, look at the anklets we bought your sister-in-law, the real diamonds. I was flabbergasted. Why would anyone spend that much money on a pair of anklets? What?
OP, I'm going to just say this. I think we need to learn how to master our emotions.
Yeah. My sister-in-law began sort of showing them off with a smug look on her face. I mean, to be fair, they seem pretty nice. Like, they're meant to be shown off.
You might be a little smug about that.
When I met that daughter-in-law for the first time, I made her really insecure because I dress very nicely and do my makeup very nicely. I was only 17. My aunt told me to wear less makeup and jewelry because of that, then kept singing her praises around me. Begone, witch. Get your evil eyes off my face, makeup, jewelry, and clothes. You and your daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law would always have some weird microaggressions around me. She made fun of me or spoke rudely about trips I want to go on, which other people have gone on. She was trying to establish her intelligence over mine. Girl, if you were smarter, you wouldn't have to speak to me that way. She even told me being a doctor isn't worth it and tried to dissuade me from pursuing medicine. I'm a scientist who will get her PhD, a more advanced degree, where you actually discover something new and invent something, which I've already done in my role as a research scientist. So now we know that OP is not a teenage girl.
Maybe. A great thing to say when you're writing a Reddit post and you're 17
I'm a
and
scientist.
you're not technically allowed to
Yeah.
write it is you go, I was 17.
I was 17, but now I have a PhD and I do research jobs.
Yes, I have a PhD in science, and I'm in charge of making all of the medicine.
And I'm smart, and you're dumb.
I think the moral of this story so far
Yeah.
is learning to just be comfortable with yourself
Yeah.
without having it be impacted by the stinky opinions or words of other people.
Exactly. You already know that you got nice stuff. You're smart. You're pretty. Got cool jewelry, great makeup. Who cares if they're all like, trying to show off to you, because you apparently have the self-confidence to be like, I'm so much better than them. When my cousin was getting married, she came to the venue. I went up to her, so excited because she was dressed as a bride. She told me straight to my face, get out of my way, Annie. She was just going into a room to wait for the time when she had to enter the wedding hall. I didn't do anything wrong. I live on a different continent and see her every 5 years, maybe.
Well, I hate to break it to you,
it's
Annie.
Her wedding day.
Annie, you might have been in the way.
It's in her wedding
I don't
day.
know if you were in the way. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But if someone says, get out the way, there's only one thing.
And she's dressed in her wedding gown, and she's probably a little stressed. You might have been in the wrong, OP. Also, I wouldn't have ever married her husband if I met him in the wild. He's not attractive to me at all. Well, perfect. You're not marrying him.
That's not your husband. Another thing you learn from your PhD.
As we've established, your cousin is dressed as a bride today on her wedding day, marrying her husband. So you're in the clear. When her husband came over, I was only 21, and I tried to click a selfie with him because we were sitting next to each other.
What do you mean?
In my family, we are all very close. He's literally my brother.
What? Hold on.
Your brother?
Hold on.
No,
you were speaking out of both sides. What's going on?
She started freaking out saying, take the picture with me instead, because she thought he and I looked better together. Did she think that, or did she just want to take a picture with her cousin?
I'm kind of glad for all parties involved that you might be skipping the wedding here.
No, but she's at this wedding. She's at the wedding. She's at her cousin's wedding.
Wait, no,
You have another cousin that
I'm
you're skipping the wedding of?
Yeah, wait, whose wedding was this?
I think no, but she started off the story saying I want to skip the wedding, and then we've got to the wedding.
Is this the same wedding or a different one? We just had such a switch up. She was like, yeah, and she was like, get out of my way, and her husband's so ugly. Anyway, I was sitting on the couch taking a selfie with him.
Snapping a picture. She says,
because we are so close. He's like my brother.
She said, I clicked a selfie with him. He's ugly, but he's like my brother. And then my cousin said, hey, wait, I want a picture, because she knew that I looked better with her ugly husband. Her mom, my aunt, also felt some way about it. Her elder sister is the same way. She's fine with her husband literally hugging her ugly younger sister and being all brother-sister with her, taking loads of pics. But with me, she freaks if she sees us talking. I have a beautiful house in India that's my father's property, built by my grandparents using artisans.
Hold on, time out. I just want to really quickly say, your father has a beautiful property in India, right?
Yeah.
Is that something they didn't teach you at PhD school?
This is like rich people in India that have a lot of money, and OP comes from a wealthy family.
I'm floating it out there.
Yeah.
I don't think OP has a PhD yet.
I don't know.
I think it's like
I don't know
on the table. I'm working towards it. I don't think we're there.
I think, well, maybe she's like in school.
Perhaps.
But like when like med students are like, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yes.
I feel like it's that level.
Could be.
I was discussing it with my mother's sister, and she said, but it isn't pretty on the inside, though. And added, my husband has an even bigger house. I woke up my aunt's house and went downstairs. I saw there were dishes and immediately began washing them. My uncle comes up to me and says, you never do any housework, do you? Snarling at me out of nowhere, but you're literally washing the dishes. Well, he came up to you while you were washing the dishes and said, you never do housework.
He's like, I could tell by the way you're washing those dishes.
You've never done a
do
day
this,
of work
do
in
you?
your life. Maybe that's what he meant. Maybe he was like, you're washing those dishes so poorly. You probably have like people who wash your dishes for you.
And that's when you just go, all right, you want to wash the dishes?
Get in there, bud. The malice in his voice was something else. I was walking into the living room and my phone light was on, and he started yelling at me, asking me why I had it on. All the lights were on in the house, so it was barely noticeable. My aunt told me I can't have anything at my wedding that her daughters didn't have at theirs. Well, ignore her. Then she told me to marry a guy in the UK and wear my cousin's hideous old wedding dress that she wore for her own wedding. I told my cousin that I wasn't her sister, I was her cousin, because of the way they have always treated me. Well, I think what OP is saying is that, like, a lot of these people are like siblings, maybe culturally. And so she's saying, you're not my sister because of the way that you treated me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're not my sister,
Yeah.
but your husband, who's ugly but nice, is my brother.
Yeah, I think that's like the vibe. I think everyone is like sister, brother.
Gotcha.
Unless you are mean, in which case you're just cousin.
It's the sister brother wife show.
She told me I was a nasty girl and said, look in the mirror, crazy. They have never treated me as a sister. Both girls are older than me, and they never reach out to ask me how I am or talk to me. Then they have the gall to say, whenever you leave the UK, we don't hear from you for 5 years. Like, I was a kid. It's the adult's responsibility to maintain relations. At my cousin's wedding, we were dancing, and I accidentally hit her face lightly with my finger, and she literally yelled at me and stormed off. I was about to burst into tears. Then she came back and said, it's okay. When I was 17, my older cousin was getting married. I come from a religious family, and my mom doesn't do hairstyles. She covers her head. The cousin getting married had her hair done a certain way for her pre-wedding function, and I knew nothing about hairstyles. My other cousin and I were bridesmaids. Everyone, including her mom, wanted us to match, got us the same clothes, the whole 9 yards. My cousin and I asked the hairstylist on the day of the wedding for the same style, and she was so mad at me. I didn't know what else to ask for. I said, do what you did to my cousin a few days ago, because I had no other reference. Then we went to get our makeup done for the reception, and she asked the hairstylist to change her hair. Then she got mad at me because we both asked for smoky eyes. Smoky eyes are what you do for a wedding reception. She kept ranting that everyone wants us to match, snapping on and off the entire day. By the way, I want you guys to snap to listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and do it quickly now. Search a book as Storytime.
Go fast.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts for our young protagonist?
There's clearly a lot of moving pieces
Yeah.
to the interrelational dynamics.
I think OP's just like a young girl, somewhere in the age of 17 to 21. And I think that she's dealing with a lot of like catty behavior from cousins and also just like mean behavior from cousins and family. Maybe because she's wealthier than them and there is like a little bit of jealousy and stuff. But I think that there also seems to be a little bit of like snootiness on OP's part too.
Yeah.
It's kind of going both ways.
There's a both sides
yeah,
angle here.
Absolutely.
I think at the end of the day, everyone here is being a little bit of a silly baby.
I agree. If you want advice for what you need to do, it's just ignore these people. And it's hard, but like don't let them get under your skin. Yeah, that's my advice.
You just need to have a concrete vision of who you want to be and who you are, and know that just because someone is like has like a rude tone in their voice doesn't mean that has to then like rule your emotions for however long it does. You can just go, well, that guy was being a silly baby yelling at me about doing the dishes. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
and I'm gonna move
you're
on.
Confident. You said multiple times that you're confident, so just like assert that and be like, you know what, I'm confident. I know I'm doing it, so it's fine, whatever. But there is a little bit left. At one of the pre-wedding functions for her sister's wedding, I went outside with my other cousins to chill out and laugh and talk. She came stalking after me and snapped at me rudely for being outside while I'm a bridesmaid. They needed nothing from me. No tasks at all. I honestly don't want to be around any of these people. I don't like them. I don't enjoy spending time with them. I don't consider them to be my family. Would I be wrong for not attending the wedding and not keeping relationships with any of them in the future? So I guess there is another wedding coming up. And OP wants to know if you should go to it. Honestly, okay,
I think you should. I think you should, and you should practice not letting these people bother you.
I was going to say, I feel like there's a lot of cultural stuff that comes into play with not showing up to a wedding and or a big event like this. So take into account how much harassment you would get from not showing up to the wedding versus just like a little bit of harassment on the day of.
I think this is a really good practice opportunity.
Because I think your options right now are like learn how to kind of just push their annoying behavior to the side or cut them off, which I don't think you want to do. So, yeah, I think it's just learning how to do that. But that's the end of that story, and we've got another one coming right up.
Yes, we do. I want my overprotective aunt to leave.
Get out of here.
So, my sister Kelly, 16, female, is a hemophiliac. Luckily, her case is pretty mild, and it only really plays a role when she has a major injury or needs surgery. We do keep her out of sports. Lucky kid got to sit out of gym class a lot. That's not lucky. Gym class was fun.
Yeah, I like gym class. We had like two girls who always sat out of gym class. I think because they had like some doctor's note or something. I think they liked it though.
You don't ever want to just not use your body.
Yeah, you gotta use your body.
You only get so much time with your body before it breaks apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone get Rasputin in here.
Oh, if only.
You get that reference, right? But do you understand why I brought it up in this case?
Because the boy had hemophilia. Yeah.
And Rasputin came and saved his life.
Yeah, yes.
Quote, unquote.
Okay.
Didn't understand the joke.
I thought you were saying it because of my broken body.
Nope. Anyway.
She does have to be a little more careful, but it really doesn't play a major role in her daily life. And for the most part, she's a normal teenager, except for when there's a full moon and she turns into a wolf. We only found out about her condition after a surgery when she was 8, and as far as we know, there's no history of it on either side of the family. By the way, this comes from user HemoThrow, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. And OP says, the problem is my aunt Lana, 40s, female. She's the kind of person who worries about everything and then gets hysterical over it. So when my parents first told the family about Kelly's condition, she freaked out. Despite numerous attempts to explain Kelly's hemophilia isn't severe, she's basically convinced Kelly could end up in the ICU from a paper cut. More than one family function was almost ruined by Aunt Lana hysterically screaming upon seeing Kelly playing tag with our cousins outside.
Which I feel like is so frustrating for Kelly to, have to deal with. She's trying to live a normal child life, and then her aunt is like, "Stop! Damn it!
Stop it! You're gonna turn into a wolf! Damn it! Those kids are in danger!" What if that'd be so
That's what
funny?
she
That's
thinks.
what she really thinks.
Yeah.
Or she thinks that she's a vampire, so if there's any other blood out there, then she's gonna get like
She's like, "You need more blood."
the Edward Cullen, like.
Yeah. She thinks that she's really into blood.
Luckily, Aunt Lana lives an hour away, so we didn't see her too often outside
Thank
of the
goodness.
usual family functions. However, recently, various things happened, and Aunt Lana needs to stay in our city for about a month. Since hotel rates here can fluctuate a bit around this time of year, my parents offered to let her stay with us instead. She accepted and moved into the guest room about a week ago. Since then, she's basically become a helicopter parent to Kelly and is smothering her. She's freaked out over Kelly's health more times than I can count, and it's not fun for Kelly or me. Some examples of Aunt Lana's more notable episodes. On trash day, Kelly's bus usually arrives shortly after the garbage trucks come by, so she brings up the trash can on her way to the house if I haven't yet. When Aunt Lana saw this, she ran out and snatched the trash can, scolding Kelly for possibly getting hurt if the trash can turned over. Apparently, it would somehow fall on her and squish her like a bug.
And at that point, I feel like you got to go to your parents and say, "Hey, Aunt Lana's acting inappropriately. This is, bothering both Kelly and I, and it's not helpful for Kelly." And if your parents don't treat Kelly like that, then hopefully they would be supportive of you and your sister.
Yeah. I think there also needs to come a time where Kelly,
Stands up and says,
goes, "Hey, I'm
let me know.
16.
I'm 16.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not a bug
Yeah.
that will be squished by the trash can. You need to leave me alone
You need to
about this stuff." Kelly likes to sculpt clay statues. Some of her tools have sharp edges. After seeing Kelly working on something, Lana confiscated the tools and hid them, and she won't tell us where they are.
Again, talk to your parents. Say, "Hey, this is totally inappropriate. She cannot, we don't want her to stay here if she's going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Tell her to stop."
It's absurd. It sounds like I don't know what it sounds like. I asked Kelly to get the mail. When she came inside, Aunt Lana intercepted her and freaked out over her potentially getting a paper cut just from holding the Does she think all of the blood in your body is going to spill out of you if you have a cut? What is wrong with this lady?
Yeah.
Is she just uneducated?
I think so. And they also told her that it's not even an aggressive. Obviously, you have to be careful when you have hemophilia about any sort of injuries and stuff. But the fact that she clearly doesn't know anything and is being, hyper vigilant about Kelly's life and not letting her live it is a problem that needs to be addressed by your parents.
It's not like she's like, "I want to be a traveling circus performer where knives get thrown at me all day."
No.
That's not happening.
Not happening.
Ugh. When I tried to intervene at how ridiculous this was, Aunt Lana accused me of being neglectful and not caring enough about my sister. Our couch is old, and the cushions sink in around the edges when you sit down, and between two of the cushions is a spot where the edges of some springs or piping are partially exposed. If you're sitting, it's totally harmless, but if you're laying down, it can snag on your pants and tear them when you get up. I'm usually the only one who actually lies down on it, but recently my aunt discovered this. Cue panic about what if Kelly gets scratched, and heavy insistence that my parents buy a new couch. This one I don't mind. That couch needs replacing anyway.
That one's fair.
You could have not included that one.
Yeah.
We have a dog. This dog needs walking and playtime. Kelly likes doing both. Aunt Lana does not like Kelly doing either. She refuses to let Kelly do either, claiming she could slip and fall and get hurt on the walk entire blocks away from our house, or the dog might get excited and accidentally hurt her while playing. So dog duties have fallen 100% on me, which is not totally ideal since I have homework, including 2 online classes.
Wait, I don't understand what's going on
Me
here.
either.
What do you mean she won't let you do that?
Where are
your parents?
Why is she the authority?
Yeah, I don't understand why your parents are allowing her to have any authority over you guys and what your chores are.
I think what might be happening is I don't know. We don't know what happened to make her live here for a month.
Yeah.
But I don't think Lana's going to work.
Yeah.
And maybe OP's parents
are.
are.
Not there, yeah.
And so while they're not there, Aunt Lana's just running rampant.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Talk to your parents. Why are they letting this happen?
You need to resist. What happened to good old-fashioned teenage rebellion?
Yeah, literally just start walking that dog anyway. What you gonna do? Scream at
yeah.
you? Hurt you? Can't.
Guess what? If she follows you around the
Yeah.
block screaming at you and threatening you,
Yeah.
she'll get arrested because
If she tries
people
and
will
grabs
call.
you, yeah, if she tries to grab you, you go, my hemophilia.
Yeah, exactly.
Play on her fears.
Yes. Aunt Lana has shown an increasing resistance to Kelly leaving the house in general. She walks with Kelly to the bus stop in the mornings, and since the trash can incident, she started waiting there in the afternoons. If Kelly wants to go outside for any reason, even just to look at a bird in the backyard, Aunt Lana would follow her and fuss over her the entire time. Not fun. This is how you create, like, a monster.
Yeah.
This is only a month, but imagine if her parents had been this way.
Yeah.
If I was Kelly, I would be like, first opportunity I get, I'm riding a motorcycle backwards with no helmet. I'm doing handstands while walking across,
You push those
swinging
limits,
swords.
and you do more dangerous stuff.
Yeah. This Sunday, Kelly and I wanted to go to the mall, but Lana insisted on coming along to chaperone us.
Just loser.
You literally could just,
Dodge and weave.
you're just such well-behaved children.
Yeah.
Our parents pressured us to accept because it was just one time, and the trip was absolutely miserable for both of us. I'm still mad at our parents for making us take her.
They
Have
know.
you told your parents anything else?
What do they know? Because they're saying it's just one time when this has been going on for this whole month.
Bad as this all is, everything really came to a head yesterday. Kelly had yesterday and today off for fall break, and we were left alone with Aunt Lana while our parents were at work. She took this to mean she was in charge. Yesterday, Kelly planned to go to the movies with her friends, but Aunt Lana refused to let her go. And I mean, she outright refused. Going was not an option. When her friends arrived, she basically chased them off, while Kelly just locked herself in her room crying. I've never been more furious. Luckily for us, one of our neighbors is a great stay-at-home mom, and after I told her about the situation today, she invited Lana over to distract her for a few hours so Kelly could sneak out and see the movie with her friends.
But honestly, like if you're already sneaking out at that point, go. I don't know. I mean, I guess I wouldn't do this because if some authority figure started yelling at me and I was 16, I probably wouldn't go. I guess she's an authority figure.
I mean, if it was because of X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
reason, instead of just like, because if you go to the movies,
You'll
you will
die.
dissolve
You'll
into a
dissolve.
puddle of
Yeah.
grease.
Yeah.
I would be like the most rebellious person on earth.
Yeah.
I'd start doing like cartwheels and somersaults in the house.
Really? I just don't
And Aunt Lana would be like,
understand.
stop!
'Cause
And I'd
if-
be like, look, I'm
yeah.
going to cut onions. Ooh, what happens if I nick my
Literally.
finger and all of the blood in my body pours out of me like a fire hose?
Genuinely, I feel like you. I mean, I don't want you to put your life in danger, but like, is there any way that we can just start? She says that the outside world is dangerous. Can we prove that the inside world is dangerous?
Let's make the inside world very dangerous.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that will make it worse.
Yeah. The fact that we had to go to these extremes at all just makes me furious. Kelly shouldn't have to sneak out of her house to see a movie, and we shouldn't need a giant complex plan to get around this woman. We shouldn't need to worry about constant meltdowns and her policing all of our actions 24/7. And we still have another 3 weeks with this woman. She's this bad after just a week, we can't live with her any longer. We've tried talking to
Here it
our
is.
parents about all of this earlier, but so far they don't understand just how bad it is because most of these episodes happened while they were at work. They think we're exaggerating and just tell us to put up with it because she's family. But the stress is eating us alive.
I don't know. Maybe the approach is saying like, okay, well, when she says that we can't go out, can we go out? And they say, oh yeah. You know, like see what they say to that. Just ask like, okay, yeah, she's behaving like this. You guys don't really care. Do we have permission to
Yeah.
ignore her?
There's also this thing that you might have even used to write this post where you can record your aunt
Yeah.
having these freakouts, because I assume when her friends showed up and you said she chased them out,
off.
she probably did go out and go, you have to leave. This
Yeah.
child is a sick child.
She's sick. She's sick.
You can't have this sick child. She's sick.
She's too sick.
All the blood in her body is trying to escape.
They're trying to dissolve her.
I work day and night to keep this child safe from you degenerates.
Yeah.
I even skipped my classes today just to make sure Lana didn't come back and find Kelly missing. And I never skip my classes It's that serious. After today, Kelly and I decided we're going to try talking to my parents again tomorrow. Lana needs to go. We know she can afford the hotel rooms. My parents invited her only out of familial duty, but that doesn't matter when it causes this much stress. Kelly says she has a possible trump card to use in the conversation, but she won't tell me what it is because she can't confirm it until tomorrow, so I don't want to count on it.
She's like, hold on, I've got an idea. And Opie's like, what? She's like, just hold on.
You wait.
Just you wait.
You just hold those horses.
Good.
You hold them horses
good.
tight. Reddit, can you give me some tips on how to best get through to our parents that Aunt Lana needs to go? And there is an update. I honestly think that you need the evidence of her freaking.
Yeah.
And, like, your parents should be able to hear, like, yeah, she restricted me from going out to the movies with my friends. And I locked myself in my room and I was crying.
Yeah.
And they should hear that and go,
and then you can, and maybe have them go ask Lana. I don't think she would lie about it. I feel she might tell it a little differently.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they went and said, hey, did you tell Kelly that she can't go to the movies? She'd probably go, of course. It's too dangerous.
She'd probably be like, I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
I
don't think she should ever see a movie again.
been meaning to talk to you about this. I've been here for a week.
Yeah.
And the amount of danger that you
Everywhere.
put Kelly through, frankly, sickens me to my core.
I've actually child locked every cabinet, including the knife drawer.
That's
why it's so hard to get into now.
I've dulled all of the forks and spoons as well as the blades.
Yeah, blunt the knives. She's only been there for a week.
She's
right?
going to be there for a month.
Yeah. So I will say it does kind of make sense why the parents are probably a little bit more like not listening as much, because she's only been there for a week. So they're like, it's only been a week, it'll probably cool down.
Yeah.
But I think just if they don't listen to you, then just ask, hey, if she says that I can't do this, can I do it? And then you have, you're good and she can't complain.
There you go. Well, we have an update.
Yay.
I think the parents are going to get involved here.
Oh, boy.
By the way, to all the people saying we, especially me as a 20-year-old, didn't need to listen to her, have you ever tried ignoring or reasoning with a hysterical middle-aged woman practically screeching at the top of her lungs about how your sister is going to pass away from a scraped knee if she steps foot outside the front door? No, but it's the same technique every time.
Yeah.
You just leave.
I mean, I've never been in this situation, but I feel like just leaving that situation is probably the best thing to do.
You leave and you do not engage. And
then
if
she calls your parents and she said, she left. And they go, well, she was allowed to.
You've got the added layer of if, she tries to restrain Kelly.
Yeah, you go,
Kelly goes,
I'm bleeding.
My hemophilia. Oh,
yeah.
I can feel the blood. I can feel the blood trying to force its way out of every part of me.
They're squeezing the blood out of me. Yeah, and you just play on her fears. She can't touch you, man.
You squeeze me too hard, all my juice will leave me. You can't. You cannot reason with this person, especially if she sees you as an irresponsible kid. Anyway, on to the update. Again, whatever happened to good old-fashioned rebellion?
Yeah.
So Aunt Lana had dinner with a friend on Thursday, so Kelly and I decided to talk to our parents then instead of Wednesday. So we brought it up during dinner, and as usual, they dismissed our concerns, saying, oh, that's just how Lana is. After trying to get them to listen for about 5 minutes, Kelly finally just calmly set down her fork, got up, and said, okay then, I'll leave instead. And that got their attention. It turns out the trump card Kelly mentioned was that one of her friends offered to let her stay with her family until Aunt Lana left. They got the idea last Tuesday while they were driving to the movie theater, and after hearing about the situation, the friend's parents let Kelly stay with them. In my opinion, this trump card is really crazy and could have backfired in a million ways. You are the sweetest little children.
Her trump card was like, okay, well, I'm sleeping over at Tiffany's.
Slumber party is the really crazy, backfired in a million ways situation. I can maybe think of 2 ways it could have backfired. Like, one way is that your parents just say no, or Lana is like, I'll sleep over too. Yeah. Of course, she couldn't actually stay there without my parents' permission.
I mean, that's true. You could get charged for kidnapping. She's 16.
Yeah, but I mean, are your parents going to like call the police for kidnapping on your friend's parents for offering to let you stay somewhere because your aunt is crazy?
Hopefully not. Your parents don't seem crazy. They just seem kind of like ignorant of what's going on.
Fortunately for us, though, this did get their attention, and they finally decided to take us seriously. We described the situation in detail and covered a few of the points commenters mentioned, particularly about how our parents were enabling her behavior. Due to some other family circumstances, we knew that the term enabler would cut them pretty deep, and it did. This time, they listened without interrupting, and once we finished, they offered their side. As it turns out, when Aunt Lana was a kid, her best friend's brother was a severe hemophiliac, and she got to see the extent of it firsthand since she visited their house so much. The brother actually ended up passing away from complications from an injury which Aunt Lana witnessed, and it was pretty traumatizing for her. And it all makes
And there we go.
sense now.
And there we go. But why wouldn't your parents tell you all of this?
I agree. What is up with that?
Why wouldn't they say,
we have to shelter our
yeah.
20-year-old and 16-year-old daughters
Yeah.
from just the
like
truth?
Lana's trauma? The reason why she's acting this crazy?
So, Kelly's condition brought up a lot of bad memories for her.
Why would you even want her staying there? Like, honestly, it doesn't benefit Kelly. It doesn't benefit Lana
Yeah.
to be staying there. And if she can afford to stay in the hotel, then I'd be like, hey, it seems like this is really triggering when you stay here around Kelly. So maybe we just, we help you out whenever you need it, but you stay in the hotel.
Given the context, it's got to be absolutely miserable to just be in like constant panic mode
Yeah.
all the time, thinking
Doesn't
Kelly's
help
just
her.
gonna,
Like, she can't even think about getting back on her feet, getting a job, because she's just worrying about Lana.
And that, combined with her already anxious nature, is the main reason Mom and Dad didn't do much about her. So yeah, we do have an explanation now for why they put up with her for so long. They agreed it wasn't fair to us to force us to go along with Aunt Lana's wishes and ruin Kelly's social life just so they wouldn't have to deal with her freakouts, even for just a month. When Aunt Lana got back, they sent us to our rooms and had a long talk with her in private. I don't know exactly what was said, but voices were raised, and Aunt Lana spent Friday sulking in her room. For most of the weekend, Aunt Lana didn't really talk to us. Then on Sunday, Kelly tried to take the dog for a walk while my parents were at the grocery store, and Aunt Lana freaked. Long story short, Kelly went to her friend's house and is probably staying there for the rest of the week. And my parents have told Aunt Lana she needs to be in a hotel by Friday.
Yay! You only had to deal with her for a week.
There we go. This is the correct move. And another correct move would be you listening to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just listen to OK Storytime by searching OK Storytime. Okay.
Anyway, I think that was good. And you only had to deal with her for an annoying week. And that's better than a lot of people that we read stories about. So there you go.
This is true. But there is a little bit more to the story. Let's finish the story.
Woo.
There's also a bit of a flame war on Facebook now because Aunt Lana decided to vent on there about my parents neglecting Kelly and not caring about her health. And it's gotten a lot of family members riled up. Though it's mostly over the fact my parents are letting Kelly stay with friends during a school week rather than her health. So that's kind of good, I guess. Yeah, the next big family event is Thanksgiving, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty messy. But at least we're making some progress now, and Kelly is safe from Aunt Lana's freakouts. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty good update. With luck, it's the only one I'll need. Thank you for your advice, everyone. And that is the end of that story.
That's it. Good luck.
Wowie zowie.
At Thanksgiving, you just say, she's alive, she's kicking, she's fine. When everyone says, why are you not taking care of her health? And that's it.
You just go, uh-oh, Aunt Lana, look, there's a fork. What if I touch my finger with it?
She goes,
Oh, what if I just poke a little? Well, okay, I guess.
that feels
Okay,
bad.
now
because she has trauma.
this is all coming from a place of like she's actually like so
she's
traumatized.
Traumatized, which is bad because all of the other family members are like riling her up and taking her side when this woman is clearly deeply traumatized.
Yeah, she just needs
she needs
to
therapy.
understand like that this isn't the same situation she was in with her friend and their brother. But
that's the end of that story.
it is the end.
And we got another one coming right up. I cut off my parents after years of disrespecting my husband.
Fair enough.
And this comes directly from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Even fairer enougher.
I don't know if I'm looking for advice, validation, or just trying to process all of this, but I need to get it off my chest. My husband, let's call him Ray, 34 male, and I, 32 female, have been together since I was 18, my freshman year of college. He had immigrated to the U.S. from the Caribbean about 8 years before we met. By the way, this comes from Sufficient Finding 614. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Dakota.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, from the very beginning, my parents, 56 female and 50 male, disapproved. At first, they said it was because they didn't know him. But really, it was because I didn't bring him around right away. The truth is, I knew they'd be judgmental. I was a recovering people pleaser, and this was my first real relationship. I wanted to figure things out on my own without them influencing every step. Looking back, I stand by that decision. But what started as, we don't know him, turned into, he's controlling, and eventually spiraled into full-blown rumors that he would use me for citizenship, that he was emotionally, mentally, and financially harmful, that he isolated me and manipulated me. None of it was based in reality, just harmful stereotypes and assumptions. The most ironic part is that my stepdad, is half Caribbean, and yet somehow that nuance gets ignored. Despite all that, Ray and I built a beautiful life together. 2 years into our relationship, he was able to earn citizenship through his career choice. No help from me needed. Hands down, he's been my rock. He's supportive, kind, patient, emotionally present, and genuinely my best friend. 6 years into our relationship, we got married. A year later, we had our first child. That's when I learned my mom has quietly been planting seeds of doubt about our relationship within the family, telling people I was being isolated, manipulated, even mistreated. When I confronted her, her reasoning honestly shocked me. She pointed to basic life decisions like getting a credit card, buying a car, or renting an apartment, all of which I made after discussing them with Ray while we were still dating. She criticized me for moving overseas to be with him while he was stationed abroad, even though he found me a job in the area and supported me while I pursued part-time work and school. She even told people he pressured me into having children. Here's some context. I didn't originally want kids or marriage. Ray did. But over the years, we had open and honest conversations. I had many chances to leave if we weren't aligned. Instead, I chose to build this life with him. Marriage, kids, all of it. Our son, 6, and daughter, 4, are the light of my life, and I can't imagine it any other way. It's okay to be child-free, and it's okay to change your mind. But my mom uses my change of heart as another weapon to say I was manipulated. After my son was born, I struggled with postpartum anxiety. I confided in my mom, hoping for support, but instead she used it as more proof that Ray was failing me. In reality, he, along with a few friends, encouraged me to go to therapy and supported me through every step of recovery. Therapy helped me face a lot of my own childhood trauma and build healthier boundaries, again with Ray right there beside me. Ray is always looking out for me, anticipating my needs, supporting my hobbies, and encouraging even my wildest ideas. Whatever I dream up, he does everything he can to help make it happen. We always laugh about this one episode of Modern Family where they talk about how every relationship has a dreamer and a doer. In ours, I'm definitely the dreamer, and Ray is 100% my Claire. It's funny how art imitates life sometimes, because that dynamic fits us perfectly. Still, after 14 years, my parents have never had a kind word to say about him. They go out of their way to exclude him, make passive-aggressive comments, and constantly question his involvement in anything related to our family. Even during times of mourning when he was simply standing by me as my husband, they treated him like an inconvenience rather than a source of support. And yet, despite all of this, they still expect full access to our children, his children. It's the most painful hypocrisy, watching them treat the father of my kids like a villain while insisting they want to be in our lives. I've spent years trying to compartmentalize their roles as grandparents versus in-laws, and it's exhausting. Ray has always taken the high road. He's told me again and again that he doesn't want to come between me and my family, even when they belittled or disrespected him directly. And the truth is, I haven't always defended him the way I should have. I've let things slide to keep the peace, even when it hurt him.
Well, I think there is some relevance to doing that. when if it's happened before and it's happening. I mean, at this point, you said it's been happening for 14 years.
Yeah.
These people probably aren't going to change the way that they talk about him. So if you are going to maintain a relationship with them, it has to be a thing where you hear it and you just go like, these people are like, it's silly baby. It's
Yeah.
like, it's not letting people's words when they are meaningless and just meant to provoke something have any power. But there also does come that point where you reach your limit of being able to do that.
And also protecting your partner, because
Yeah.
it's not you that's getting belittled. I mean, in a way it is,
Well,
but
no,
like,
it's also him being like, well, I'm not going to come between you and your family.
Yeah.
And if he can just be like,
oh,
yeah, they're weird, they're just weird. They're weird and crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let the stuff that they say
yeah.
like get down into me, because it's like, that's its own thing, and just being self-assured is another thing. But that doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for every situation.
Anyway.
Silly babies, your family.
The breaking point should have come long ago, but alas. About 2 months ago, my mom called to vent for 4 hours about how badly my dad treats her, how he ignores her needs, dismisses her feelings, and refuses to help with anything. The conversation included examples of how her trust was broken, how he played it off, his defensiveness, and half attempts and groveling.
I just don't think it's a good move for parents to have that kind of conversation
No.
with their children.
I think it's terrible. It's always a
Yeah.
bad idea. Don't talk to your therapist, talk to your friends, don't talk to me.
No matter what age they are, they could be 12, they could be 40.
Mhm.
I don't care. Don't talk to me about how you hate my dad or my mom, whatever.
All I could think was, you defend him, you justify him, you stay with him. At one point during this call, I actually referenced this. The thing my mom confided in me about, Ray has never and would never do. And it hurt that my own mom could be so willing to forgive terrible behavior and be so encouraging to men, including my dad, who are awful partners. Yet my husband, who has supported me, helped raise our kids, stood by me through mental health struggles, career changes, military moves, and toxic family dynamics, genuinely loves me, is never good enough. I've tried more than once to bridge the gap between my parents and my husband. I have had direct conversations with them about their behavior and the way they speak about him, but instead of owning their actions, they deflect and gaslight. I hear things like, I never said I didn't like your husband, or it's not me, he's the one with the problem. Sometimes they claim we've misunderstood or taken things out of context, as if over a decade of dismissive comments and disrespect can just be waved away. It's been 2 months since I last spoke to them. I didn't make an announcement or set a boundary. I just stopped responding. And in that silence, I've been sitting with all of it. The guilt, the grief, the anger. I feel torn and exhausted of it all. It feels like I've chosen my husband over my parents. But I know deep down it's not about choosing one or the other. I still love my parents. I miss them. But I can't keep pretending everything's fine, letting them play the part of loving parents and doting grandparents, while continuing to treat my husband like he doesn't belong in the family we built together. Last night, my sister, 37 female, reached out to let me know that our mom had contacted her unexpectedly. They haven't spoken in months, so it was surprising. The call was mostly about me. My mom was asking if something was wrong with me, but the conversation quickly shifted into placing blame on Ray, as usual. By the way, I'd blame you if you didn't listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I think you should totally set boundaries with your parents, but I think they
Yeah.
should know. I don't think you should just go
No, I think you
completely
tell
silent
them.
without telling them. I think you should
Yeah.
say, hey, I'm done communicating
Yeah.
with y'all because
of this.
Yeah.
And if they go, wait, you go, I don't care. Bye. Peace out. And you do the same thing that you were already planning to do, but they just know why. But there is a little bit left. I understand it's not my sister's job to defend or explain my choices, but I wish she had been more direct. Her responses were vague, which left a lot of room for misinterpretation or manipulation. One example they discussed was a time I was lying in my parents' bed with my son and Ray came in to check on us. After that, my parents started locking their bedroom door, basically saying it was fine for me and our son to be in there, but not Ray. They're locking their bedroom door because your husband is there with you and your child?
You really don't like this guy.
Somehow, in my mom's retelling and my sister's responses, the story morphed into Ray claiming they locked the door with my son still inside, which isn't true. But now that's the version going around. What These people are wild. Yeah, I think it's time to like tell them why you're cutting them off and then cut them off because this is just unacceptable.
I think you've got a lot to work with too. I mean, if your mom's
Yeah.
calling you being like, my husband this, my husband that,
you
blah, blah,
say,
blah,
"Well."
he sucks so bad, blah, blah, blah. You'd be like, you know who I don't feel any of those feelings about?
Ray.
My husband.
Ray's pretty great.
Yeah, the one that you hate so bad. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And how are you going to, it's like, you've had 2 children trying to be like, oh, he manipulated you into having these kids. What? It's like, you can just at some point be like, I don't think I want kids. And then over time be like, no, I would want kids.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 of them and you love them both.
And that's okay. It's okay for people to change their mind about decisions either way. You could say, oh, I grew up thinking I wanted kids. Now I'm realizing I don't want them. Or I grew up thinking I didn't want kids. Now I do want them. It's fine. Just communicate with your partners.
Yep.
We have comments. Comments are from the video Lost My Dream Guy to an Arranged Marriage. And this was posted October 30th, 2025. TLDR is OP met a charming British lawyer on Hinge, Ivy League grad, plays in bands, total dream guy. They clicked instantly, had amazing dates, real chemistry. But then he dropped the bomb. His parents are arranging a marriage for him. OP had to decide whether to keep seeing him until she moves or walk away before getting her heart broken. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. And we have some comments. Comment by Catherine Alvarez, 9216. Story 1. This guy was obviously a scumbag who wanted to keep OP as a side piece. That or he was wildly naive. Bridgerton reference. Yeah, the guys who kept talking about honor was Anthony and sometimes Colin, and both got the girls they loved. Colin just went for it and got engaged with Penelope after one carriage ride. And that was normal compared to Anthony, who did everything wrong and managed to end with Kate, played by Simone Ashley.
Damn. Bridgerton spoilers. And also, who are any of those people? I have never seen that show.
I think OP is saying, like, this guy, if he actually was into you, could be like, I don't want to get married to this random person.
If this guy was into you, he'd say, I want to marry you.
He'd say,
I'm going to take you for
you.
a carriage ride, and then
Yeah.
we're going to get married by the horse.
Sure. Comment by Ngu says, in the West, we have strong family values. If you refuse the arranged marriage, it could bring shame to the whole family. And another comment from Multi-Dark Angel says, I've seen this among Hmong communities. It's not unusual for Asian parents to have arranged marriage. It's seen as outdated, but the parents do it because they fear of having a foreign wife. I've had friends and coworkers that were dating a guy for years, and the guy promises to break the arranged marriage so they could get married. I have yet to see a guy keep his word. Every single one caves to their parents' demands, and the girl's reputation is destroyed. It's messed up. Yeah, I remember reading this one. While you might feel that it was going well, I think in the long run, if he's one didn't tell you that he had arranged marriage, but also isn't willing to break up that arranged marriage, then you'll find someone better.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah. But that's the end of that story and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And
see you tomorrow.